Hello, everybody, and welcome. We are live on the Byzantian brewscast podcast. We are live from Christchurch, Sparkbrook at the moment with 200 of God's own homegrown megabytes. It feels good to be here. It feels good to be back after struggling with internet stuff for quite a significant amount of time. How are we doing, folks?
Wait, there is a backlog of stuff. Yeah, I've been busy.
Good. Busy is what I like to hear.
A couple of D&D sessions. Me and a friend have been sort of single-player co-oping through Lies of P, which I quite like, as it turns out.
That is
I'm okay
cool.
with it, because it's like playing a Souls-like is like riding a bike. Once you get the basic idea of it, you're sort of like okay at most of them.
Yeah, I should try a Souls-like thing, but it's like you said, it's the initial getting into it that's like the most aggravating part.
Get over the first 20 deaths or so, you start learning patterns. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
no, I don't suck.
Yeah.
And I'm doing that. Yesterday, the hospice had their Pride float.
Nice.
And
I would have been there, but like buses and things were like really kind of
don't worry about
messed.
it. It was just, it wasn't as busy. Well, I'm not surprised it wasn't as busy as it was last year. I think the hype is waning a bit. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, there was lots of walkers. There weren't as many floats this year. Not that I mind. I didn't have to walk anywhere. Just an hour and a half of smiling and waving. Yeah. Oh, and a few pints afterwards in the pub near the station.
Yeah. A few points afterwards in the Bent Pyramid nightclub. It's fine.
No, you'd have to pay to get in. I didn't want to pay Pride money just to.
They should really
there,
give free entry to people who are actually part of the parade, whether or not they're with a charity or not.
They did that. I mean, I know this was like what 10 odd years ago, but when I was in it the first time at uni, yeah, they did that.
It's become like too corporate.
That was
now.
the deal.
Like, no, you gotta pay your fees. You know, these t-shirts don't sue themselves. Okay. These like really popular artists don't. You know, it's expensive. It's okay.
It was a good time of it, but our music kind of crapped out halfway through, so Anting on the Nibble of Light. But hey, it was fine. I instead fell into the Sunflower Lounge with the other volunteers left early. So you know what?
Makes sense.
Let's do something. Turns out I quite like it there. It's like, how do I describe it? It's like those. It's like going to a bar where all they play is like 90s and 2000s style indie music, but it's always at least passable.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of annoyed I didn't go there earlier because I could enjoy here. Here is nice. The drinks were a little pricey, but
I mean,
don't drink out much very often anymore.
Yeah,
so.
And it's like drinks everywhere have kind of gotten a bit pricey lately, haven't they? Really, so you kind of, it's just kind of those things you just go, oh, fine, I guess.
It was a weird time. We got a little merry, and we got chatting to some randoms. Going to see some bands called Wonder Horse. Don't know who they are, but the band Wonder Horse. I spoke to two separate bands who were playing. One of them was playing that night. Or happenstance. I sort of actually ended up interviewing them casually, not really. Just got chatty. It's a really good day of it.
Nice.
Yeah. I just got friendly drunk. It was really nice.
Aw, I'm happy for you, bro. I'm happy for you, man.
Yeah, but felt a bit weird on the way home there because they're just like, right, need to sober up a little bit. This is a bit silly.
Yeah.
I didn't plan on getting that many drinks down me. But it happened.
No, I don't think many people actually plan, apart from our mutual friend April. I don't think many of us ever really plan to get slizzard.
That's fair.
So
if I there's some more coming, I'm sure, but the main photos I've added from the good stuff, I've put 3 of them up.
Nice.
Yes, that'd be pics and vids.
Coolio. By the way, folks, those of you who are watching, whether you're on Twitch or elsewhere, you can join the Discord chat if you would like to see
Yes.
more random stuff. I really should put it up on Discord at some point, but I am a silly goose and I don't know how to do things. But we'll be looking to that in the future. So for now, you can hit
All
exclamation
our
mark.
homebrewers up there.
Yeah, you can go exclamation mark Discord on the Twitch page, which if you're on the YouTube, you should be able to find the Twitch page from the homepage. And if you're on Twitch watching the VOD or you're watching live, it's right there. Just click the chat where all of our homebrew stuff is and many other things. And yeah. And this podcast is sponsored by ourselves. I have set up a Ko-Fi thing. Any proceeds from the Ko-Fi that I get, if you message in the Ko-Fi thing Byzantian Brews podcast, I will split half of it with my co-host. So if you want to support us, the Ko-Fi link should also be in the Twitch.
Definitely. We keep it busy. So, what have you been up to?
So I have been trying to rest a bit because I had about a week where I was just really like drained and tired. But what I managed to get done, I started the new season on Forza Horizon 5. I started to get back into that. And I've been doing funny car things, including including souping up a what is it? A Myers Minx, the classic buggy, and doing a bunch of challenges in that. I finished the Hot Wheels DLC on that, and I've just been enjoying fucking around playing car game again. It's been nice actually being able to play a video game for once and not being like I've got a million and one things to do. I'm like, nope, I need to rest. Playing video games is the way that I rest because I don't overthink when I'm playing video games, and then duh. And yeah, it's cool. I've got a bunch of new cars and stuff, and I'm like very happy because give them funny paints and make them go fast.
Sounds good.
And I did a little bit of magic stuff too, like a little bit. I've just updated my application so I can do more deck building things. Again, the benefits of having good internet, I can actually update my programs. Ha.
Fair enough. Right. We probably get back to the tabletop stuff.
Yes, let's get back to the tabletop stuff.
2 weeks worth.
So I don't have any books on me because of where I am at the moment. I don't really have any new stuff anyway. But do you have something to regale us with for this week's tabletop book club?
Actually, this one's an ebook, but I finally thought to when I can find it. There we are. That Irish myth skirmish game. It's a digital download only. I have not found a physical copy anywhere. It's really cool. I will say it's heavy on the build up.
Yeah.
Like it's got whole invasion cycle in here. Wouldn't say summarized because there's a lot of it. So you get all your mythology before you get any rules.
Mm-hmm.
I do like how they randomize it. I'm not sure they figured out the numbers. Let's have a look. So, like actually making a warband, you sort of roll, or let's find it. So you sort of roll for resources and reputation. It's basically how well you can recruit people. Let me go to the top. This it's actually considering getting a warband from the same website, the Metal Sculptures. It seemed like a really good game I'd like to try. Let's have a look here. Actually, Arena can't find a physical copy of it. Apparently, it's because it's an in-house rule actually for the site itself. So they publish it by themselves, which is quite cool. Right. Let's have a look. Warband, creating a warband, 27. It's not a massive rule book, which is it's quite a condensed rule book. But there's a lot of names of really like special characters and myths and heroes that are really important.
Yeah.
So actually starting the thing, so you roll oaths, fate points, which are not like fate points.
just
sort
to,
of
just so we're
the
clear.
and riches. It's a different sort. Yeah, it's a weird thing to come up with twice. So basically it's all D6, and you have to. It's all like meet or beat is how they work out everything. It's really cool. So fate points is sort of how many you can afford to actually bring into the warband, and riches is money for gear and stuff.
Mm.
And it's one of those games that's quite good because you know how like Age of Sigmar is quite bad for it, where you'll have a unit with like swords or spears, but it will just be like holy weapons or something, and it's not
Yeah.
treated differently. Every weapon got its own sort of cost and range, and they go into the middleman and the nitty gritty, which is quite nice.
Mm.
Um, I will say though, it's if you're not into like old school sculpts, it's probably not going to be a thing.
Yeah.
But if you're into this very specific bit of myth, and I'll get an image. Some of them are actually quite decent, even despite the age.
Mm.
Um, like there's the one I got quite taken by this. I'm gonna butcher the name of them, but there's the actual what would become the Irish, like the humans. They're like pretty fine. The Furbolg are sort of like walkie. Um,
Mm.
Mori that are literally goblins, at least in this game. I'm not sure about the actual myth. My favorite are the city. Sort of they It's really funny as every single time I go to um actually actually go into a new tabletop game, I keep picking the elf faction without knowing. I've done it again. Um, the city are very like the Fey people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the funny thing as well, like every single hero has like their reason for doing their thing, and one of the city ones, you roll it, you can randomize it or pick one on the D6 table. The one for the city is just mischief. Um, so then they're not true to being elves. They're not particularly popular because they keep showing up and being pointlessly mischievous and just picking fights and just not and just disappearing again. Um, I quite didn't know that before I bought it. I just saw the warband and thought these guys look kind of cool for the age of the model. I kind of want them.
Fairs.
Mm, there's the image. Yeah, it's all 2d6 based, which I like. I like rolling d6s, and I
Mm-hmm.
want to play something that's not Warhammer. Uh, because I just feel I don't know. It's I keep updating the models too quickly for me to really commit to an army. I am not worried this
Yeah.
game's going to get a massive update anytime soon.
Fairs.
So these are the city, the ones I kind of like. These guys look kind of cool. A little bit high fantasy, but they've got a cool. They look heroic compared to some of the other ones. Um,
Mm.
I really quite like it. I will say some of the special character sculpts are a little questionable. The worst one's got to be the Raven. That's BABD, the Raven Mistress.
Mm-hmm.
It's an old sculpt, and it's a sculpt of a lady. So
Ah. Mm. Yep.
that's some of the classic problems.
Or
Are in
benefits
chat
depending
because
on what
she is.
kind of person you are. You know. Some people might appreciate that. I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely something from a myth. I will
Mm.
say.
It's very like
Um,
Conan the Barbarian kind of.
that was the style of the time, though. I think
Yeah. Yeah.
everyone
And
was modeling a little like that.
and like as long as it's tasteful, it's you know.
Oh, the thing with the female miniatures, can't really say it is.
Ah.
It's you know,
Mm.
I guess the stereotype of them just didn't know what they didn't know how breasts look, and they thought that's a breast.
Yeah.
I'm sure that will be fine.
This is about the
Uh,
right
but
size and height and shape. This is Fine.
They got nipples, right? Yes. Apart from that, I really like the range. It's a really fun game, and one of those that it ends when one objective's met, so you're not playing stupidly long after players reasonably gone to think, right, this is pointless now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to win it. So I do quite like that. It's a game that respects your time. It's a skirmish game, so it's about 10 minutes at most.
Mm.
You're probably not going to have a long game of it, and
Mm.
it's pretty. The one thing it does well, a lot of tabletop games that don't do, is how in like in Warhammer Classic example again, your armor doesn't break or anything. It's just like you have a save.
Yeah.
You can get armor and shields, and it can get damaged, and you have to pay to repair it. Um,
Mm.
they go all in on the actual maintenance stuff, which I think it's fun as a one-off, but it can rub people the wrong way, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good game if you like your random tables. There's a lot of random D6 tables in this. I think that keeps it fresh to a degree.
Mm.
The only thing is, it says this is from 2005 because the second edition, but it feels like a game that they haven't changed since like the mid 80s.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting sort of game I'd like to actually try and play.
Mm.
Um, but again, it's one of those like literally didn't know it existed. Found it 30, 40 years later and think this is actually kind of neat. Um, I figured out why saw a video lately because Critical Role's doing like some load of Daggerheart stuff because that's their thing that they're trying to do. And I figured out why how I decide if I'm going to like a tabletop game or not.
Mm.
It all comes down to is the setting any good? Because if the setting's no good, I'm just not going to care.
Yeah.
But Daggerheart, it's got some potential. It's got some interesting ideas about dice. Like you roll this 2d12 and you either succeed or fail with hope or fear. It's sort of like it affects how you succeed or fail. That's interesting. But
Interesting.
I don't mind. That's a cool idea. It's just why I don't want to bother with it though is it's the whole idea of all these strange animal human races.
Ah.
Just it's not that they just get along. It's not really made clear they get along.
Yeah.
It's just sort of assumed they all just agree with each other all the time, and I don't. That's not very interesting to me. It's just like, why do they get along? Surely some of them hate each other. Why are there adventurers in a world where everyone's fine and happy?
Yeah.
Doesn't really make sense. Meanwhile, even like this Erin Celtic myth it's about a really super specific setting where you can do training like summon uh, gods and monsters from strictly one mythology, which
Mm.
doesn't limit it at all because it means they super hard focus on making this setting feel not real because it's very fantastical,
Mm.
but grounded in
Immersive.
its own
Yeah,
weird way.
immersive.
Like this is really immersive. It goes into like a massive amount of detail on everything, like Kate Sith, fairy cats,
Ah.
just weird monsters like what? There's a monster that just has one leg and it's a weird ogre thing called Chikol of the One-Legged. It's proper like this is definitely mythological. Like that doesn't make any goddamn sense, but that just fits so well. Um, it just think it's kind of a shame that there's not more settings like it.
Yeah.
So niche as it is. But that's all. I think I've talked about that enough. Maybe
And it's
what of
oh yeah, I see Bab. Yeah, I see the Raven Mistress. Yep, yep, yep. Yep, I could see it now. Yep, yep, yep. That is yeah.
yes.
So I don't have anything in terms of a tabletop book club thing in the moment, but I do want to talk about because I really want to get into it. It's kind of a half and half book club slash miniature of the month. It's a hybrid.
Oh,
So I'm looking them out on the Saga 2 website. at the Roman starter warbands. This is the late Roman army, late Roman era army. I'm like, because
Oh,
I was
okay.
thinking, like, okay,
That's
if I do get into Saga, what army do I want to go into? And I think, actually, you know what? Late Roman is probably what I want to go into, because
I like the look of those.
none of my other
Actually.
friends
Yeah.
run Romans. Particularly, I think one does Saxon and a British stuff. I think one's doing something. I can't remember the other one. One's doing Byzantine, and like none of them's doing Roman. So like, I will do Roman stuff because yes, and I like. You know that I like those Roman helmets with the red bit on the top. What do they call it? It's got a particular name. You know, the sort of they've got like a brush on their heads.
Plume thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think.
and of course it's the
Yeah.
tall geese accessory, obviously. Or well, obviously tall geese got the idea from Roman history, but it's like, yeah, I like that style of
Yeah.
helmet. I want to have a Roman officer. That's cool. And the starter warband comes with one on a horse with that kind of helmet. And I'm like, yes. They don't have like the classic tower shield, but I guess that's because it's late Roman and not mid
They
Roman.
stopped using that by that point.
Yeah, which is a shame because those like square like phalanx shields are so iconic.
But John, so
Kind of.
the history on why they stopped using the old like plate armor and the big shields,
Mhm.
because about between the third and fourth century, what happened is the Roman army was the Rome always used mercenaries a little bit,
Mhm.
but as the centuries just went on, they just used more and more mercenaries to the point where there were more foreign people in the army than Romans,
Ah.
and a lot of them were from like Gaul, which is now Germany, and
Mm.
areas around there. So basically, the equipment was more designed for them than the actual native Romans.
That makes sense, yeah. And I guess as well, like those kind of tower shields and things don't really hand themselves well to a skirmish game either. Because, like,
Oh no,
with
no,
that,
no,
you want to be
no.
all together and have lots of, battalions. With a skirmish game, you don't. If all your guys are together, they're gonna get. Even in a phalanx, they're gonna get archered to death very quickly.
Yeah, I'll say it. Yeah, it's funny you bring up Saga because I haven't been umming on about painting my Saracen warband, and we
Mm.
last actually played that one.
Yeah, well, I might get the Romans at some point. It's like 27 quid for what is essentially a starter army isn't bad. I mean, you'd pay like more
Not
than
bad at
that
all.
for a single blinking unit in
Five-man
Warhammer.
unit in
Like, yeah,
Warhammer.
in.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, with that, it's a much bigger game, but still, just having a whole army, howbeit, one, two, 25 multi-part plastic figures, 25 miniatures for 27 quid, and it's a out of the
It's always
box playable army. Not bad.
yeah,
I like that quite a
yeah.
bit.
That'd be quite fun actually to get into Saga.
Yeah, and it gives me a chance to learn a bit more about late Roman era history, so I can paint them properly.
Oh, there's a lot. Do you like Dead Emperors? Because there's lots of that.
Dead emperors are funny. Long die the emperor.
You can always look at the year of five emperors.
I
No
vaguely
guesses for why
remember
it's
that. It's like, yeah, we can get through emperors really quickly. I'm gonna be emperor for life. It's gonna be a pretty short life then.
pretty short life. Yeah.
So we shall move now on to critical fumble. What we got for this week on critical fumble?
What do I have?
There's so much choice.
There is actually. There's a lot of messing up. Do you know what I'm going to go? Let's have a look. Let's check put this on my YouTube history so I don't remember some of this. Oh, do you know what it is? It's Disney. I remember now.
Uh-huh.
So, I don't really have a massive attachment to Mon Disney, but they did a remake of Lido and Stitch lately,
Mm-hmm. I
and
wanted
I
to go
have
see that.
seen someone review it, and I've seen clips from it,
Yep.
and they've made an interesting change to the plot.
They've made several interesting changes from what I've heard. Yeah.
The one they're going to pick on deliberately is the ending. So you know how in the original there's that whole Kahuna means family thing, and that was like really, really, really important.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the remake, apparently, Kahuna means uh, just let the state take your only remaining family so you can go to university.
What? I'm
Yeah,
fucking sorry, what?
yeah, yeah. So rather than her sister saying no, I will look after Lilo anyway because Kahuna means family, they instead decided to go with nah. She lets the state take Lilo away, so she can go
So she can
to
become a strong,
university.
independent woman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just effectively it.
that's great. That's a horrible ending.
It's like the exact opposite of the original. It's really weird to me why they did that.
And it's like, for what I've heard, is this is spoilers for the movie, by the way. I mean, I'm not gonna put any timestamps down if you're listening to this, not live, but like just timestamp or stick your fingers in your ears. Apparently Gantu just isn't in the movie at all. So we couldn't figure out how to do
Oh
him.
yeah, that one. Yeah.
Ergo, I'm guessing like yeah, we didn't have the fucking budget, basically. Um,
That would
Jumper
probably be it
looks
too.
weird, and they do this whole human hologram thing, which I guess like makes more sense with alien technology. But like, Blakely doesn't do his classic, dressing up in Nani's clothes and doing the funny, which is unfortunate because that
Yeah.
was extremely funny. And I know a lot of people, including in that community, are like, yeah, Blakely is like our idol kind of thing, kind of like same with like Roger from American Dad. It's like, yes, it's played for
Yeah,
laughs,
yeah.
but it's also played quite seriously in parts. It's not like you're laughing with them rather than laughing at them. But they're just like, no, we've got that entirely. Okay, that's fine, sure. The weirder thing is still like cutting out the villain from the movie. Sorry, you cut out the quote unquote bad guy from the movie. What the fuck do you mean?
The villain is Child Protective Services
Even though, but in
currently.
the original movie, Cobra Bubbles, who was working for the FBI, not CPS, uh, is like, oh yeah, like he's kind of the early film antagonist, but not for very long. And like he winds
Yeah,
up helping out in the end, and in the
yeah.
extended fucking universe, goes and helps out a lot thereafter. He winds up being like as a concierge, etc., for Lilo and the gang in a few episodes of the show. It's like, have you actually watched anything beyond the movie? Because Lilo and Stitch had it had
Yeah.
2 TV shows,
See a spin-off series.
3 other movies, and a fucking anime that was never released in the West. You managed to fumble the bag on the one series that actually had good spin-offs with actual impactful lore, and you just took it again, fucking none of it. What? They basically ruined their own Pokemon effectively. If you've seen the third movie where they have all the other experiments. It's like basically
Yes.
if you had just done the normal plot, done a couple of sequels, you could be selling 626 plushies by the million in like 2 to 3 years. But no, you fumbled the bag.
I suspect it will still make money because it's the more it's one of the movies they remember well,
Yeah, and there is like, even to this
but
day,
it won't make as much money
just
as it would have done.
so much merch of Stitch, and I can't blame them because Stitch is
Oh
adorable.
yeah,
But it's like,
he's made for it.
how can you Stitch? I feel like Stitch is the Pikachu of Disney. Like, how do you ruin that? How do you ruin?
Makes a weird noise,
Is cute, is
weird voice,
dangerous,
fuzzy.
and is effectively a mascot of a thing. Yeah. To the point where he was
Yeah,
appearing. If you remember some of the old trailers, one of them he appears in like the Aladdin thing and steals Jasmine, which is very funny. So it's like, yeah, he was at the time the poster child of Disney. and kind of in a way, sort of still is. I guess Mickey, but like he is like the other one. If you go run down, there's him. It's like, how do you ruin an amazing money making opportunity this badly? It's like how.
Yeah, it's a weird one to get wrong. Then again, Disney's making a lot of so great movies last couple of years, so it's another one for the pile.
Yeah, it's a shame because Lilo and Stitch is like my favorite Disney movie. It's the first one. It's not the first one I ever watched, but it's like the first one I ever sort of watched and really stuck out to me. And I was like, because I identified with Stitch super hard as a kid because I'm like, hey, I'm a cute, adorable, but very dangerous when I get excited individual. I vibe with this guy because I need a loving hand like this guy does. And everyone just compared me to Stitch in the same way. It's like, yeah, and you ruined the one character. Well, you didn't ruin you kind of ruined the one character I identify with, because I don't even think he does Elvis stuff in the movie. I haven't seen it, but I'm going to assume based on everything else, because again, liking Elvis was a huge part of that character. Given it's in America, I think so, because aren't there like still millions of Elvis impersonators? And also, it's just like, it's like it was like an integral part of Lilo and Stitch's character to the point where he dresses up as like late era Elvis in one of the like scenes, in the towards the end montage thing where they're repairing the house.
Yeah,
it's like anyway, yeah. So that's I had such high hopes for the movie, and then everything else I saw about it after the trailer was it just got worse and worse and worse. Anyway, moving on.
That's so basically the new Stitch movie not doing good.
So my critical fun for the week, unsurprisingly, I'm upset at Wizards of the Coast again.
Hey.
And this to be fair, in Wizards of the Coast defense, vaguely, this is more of a nitpick than anything else. So we've got more of the reveals from the Final Fantasy Magic set, which is very highly anticipated because everyone loves Final Fantasy, and if you don't, you're weird. Just kidding. Chocobos, and as we all know, chocobos are cool and adorable and go quack. However, slight problem, they're in the wrong fucking colours. It's a white, green, blue deck, and not white, red, blue. Like the other two decent bird commanders. Like, birds is red, white, and blue. That's the bird colours you established with Zinnia and some of the other previous stuff with birds, like, adding some decent red birds in. You established that red, white, blue was the bird colour, and that green wasn't, because green doesn't have that many good birds. But now you've made several of the chocobos green, despite the fact that because chocobos are fast, therefore they should be red, because red is fast. They don't even have haste. One of them is red, white, and green. The only non-green one, which is mono white, is terrible. It's just a bad card. And I'm upset, because I am the bird person, and you've released birds that are not good. You have spat in my face.
We need to have a good bird deck.
Well, I think my bird deck is relatively good, but I'd love to have chocobos in it, even if it made the deck objectively worse. I want me chocobos because they're chocobos.
I just think they don't want you in particular to enjoy your bird deck.
They saw me posting on Twitter and Blue Sky some of my custom redos, like custom artworks for the Goose deck, and we're like, this guy's making proxies. He's not allowed to have anything nice ever again. It's like, you can't make proxies. That's not allowed.
It's a creative game. What are you doing?
Buy our product and get excited for new product. Like, but I want burb.
It's really
Other than that,
that's just more ammo for them to make loads of new Choco cards.
Which they should do anyway. There's like 3 or 4 at the moment. That's not even that many. But it's like
they could do a whole deck based on that really annoying mini game where you have to breed chocobos to get the golden chocobo.
Oh no, they've got that. That's the other fucking thing. So it's worse than that. So the different colors of chocobo do exist in the set, but they're only in the collector packs. The rarer ones appear more rarely, and there's only 7 golden chocobos, and they're serialized.
Oh,
so instead of like funny mini game shenanigans and making more types of chocobos, they're going with we want to make as much money as possible from scalpers and collectors. Thanks, wizards.
Oh, that'll be a $2,000 magic card. Easy.
I mean, if we like extrapolate, so I think was it Post Malone bought the One Ring for $2 million? So if you divide 2 million by 7,
magic, so that's fun.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's got his own secret lair. Yeah, which is actually kind of cool. So if we divide 2 million by 7, if roughly, right? If we go by it like that, 2 million divided by 7, each chocobo should cost 285 grand. Of the 7. Well, technically, if we round it up, each one should cost 286 grand. 268 grand per chocobo. If they were equatable. Yeah. That's fun, isn't it? That's a fun bit of trivia. Is it slightly hyperbole? Yeah, a little bit. Am I still upset about it? Yeah. Am I still going to proxy the 8 of 7 golden chocobo? You fucking bet I am. I'm going to piss wizards off and just make the number 8 out of 7. And then number 9 out of 7 and make it a goose, because fuck you, wizards.
So that sounds like I found out just because for some reason I get like the odd short about rare Yu-Gi-Oh cards and stuff.
Mm.
There's another Egyptian god card.
Harakati.
Harakati. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
the
like
tournament prize.
Yeah. The trio prize card you can't get anywhere else.
Yep.
I wonder if they're going to just do that, and there'll be like 7 people that have one, and it's.
Well, I think they do. Wizards still do prize cards and things, and I don't mind prize cards, to be honest, because they're like special commemorative things for the winners. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I mind it when it's being used to sell packs.
Yeah, that's fair.
I didn't even mind I don't mind serialized cards, even if it's like. If it's not as egregious as that, where it's like, okay, here's a serialized version of a bunch of cards in the set, there's 500 of each. That's fine. But when you're locking the golden chocobo behind the fucking serialized card system, fuck you. That is like rubbing...
It is the most, like...
Yeah, it's beyond...
Most, like, card game anime thing ever,
it's beyond rubbing salt in the wound. It's like rubbing, like... it's like rubbing... powdered fucking Scotch bonnet in the wound.
It is. I do think it's the most. The prize cards are just the most anime game thing ever, though.
Yeah.
Because like you literally want to have one of like 5 people that has that card, so when you do get to play it, that must feel kind of special.
Especially if it's something like an actual card that you can play, because a lot of them aren't playable in tournaments. But I think there's certain like there might be like a version of Blue Eyes that's a tournament prize. And it's like, yeah, I've got the tournament, I've got the I've got the world's prize, Dark Magician in my deck, or Blue Eyes, because Blue Eyes is now meta again because they got new support. Yeah, I could totally see that. Although I think more often, you more often see prize cards, you see the winners playmats, I think. I think Worlds and Locals do special winners playmats as well, which are more likely to be seen. Because it helps to have a playmat to play the game, and if you've got one that was only given to like 5 winners at Worlds, I can see that. As long as it's not, I don't know, the playmat of Ash Blossom's feet. That's a weird one. That's a really weird one, Yu-Gi-Oh.
The list of banned playmats is very long.
Yeah, it's like, oh, any mat that's not official. Well, this mat that has a ghost girl child's feet on it, that's one of yours. That's very legal. But legal to play. I'm
It's
not sure
the
legal to own, but legal to play. Sure.
I think it's the card game tournament equivalent of a dress code at a school.
Hmm.
Some people got a little too weird with it, and then they've had to put in rules.
Yeah, I still love the guy that took. I think well, I don't think it was Worlds, but I think it was like Nats. Just took like a whole sealed naan bread that just happened to be square and used that as his playmat in protest, and I think that's very funny.
You can't really get hungry later. Just nibble
Just
on it.
undo it. Just have a chunk of naan bread. Genius.
That's really funny. I like that.
But yeah, I'm
Oh,
upset
no.
at Wizards because the other problem with this whole thing is that the rest of the set for the Final Fantasy stuff is fucking amazing. Like they managed to do Y'shtola correctly. There's so many cool references. The way they did summons is fantastic. Vivi's card is amazing. The Cactuar is brilliant. There is There's a Moogle deck in mono white which looks really fun to play. There's a whole lot that looks fun to play and fun to collect. It's like you managed to get everything else right except the thing that is literally the set symbol of the fucking commander decks. The commander deck set symbol is a chocobo. How did you get chocobos wrong?
Is that or the Moogle for Final Fantasy that are like the thing?
Yeah. The only thing with Moogles at the moment is there's not enough of them because they have their own creature type. So with Chocobos, you can put them in a bird's deck. Moogles, not so much, because there's cards that care about Moogles in the set, but there's not a whole lot of Moogles at the moment. And it's like, okay, are we getting more Moogles, or what? But yeah, so that's Critical Fumble. I will stop ranting about Wizard of the Coast for now, I promise.
Done another oopsie.
Yeah, on to our homebrew of the week.
Yes, I was going to ask about this because I did a short birdie video, and the theme was rainforest, I believe.
Yes, so I do have a thing. I have done something from the
I have a
theme.
couple things.
I did the one thing because it's yeah. You first. You first.
That's something I can run with, and I came up with something. Came up with a big monster. I think it was CR4 monster and a actual game map.
Ooh.
So using my best fake Latin, I came up with the Arconicus, which is a basically big predatory dinosaur because there's not enough of them in the book, and I think that's just fun. So it's 95 hit points, 20 strength. It's a big beastie. But what makes it a little different is it's chameleonic, and I based this off the book version of the Lost World Jurassic Park, where for some reason it was the Carnotaurus was written up to be in the book anyway. It's made up to be like have chameleonic abilities. I thought, why not have a bit of fun with that? So as an action, it can gain the effect of the invisibility spell without any need for magic or to stat for it. However, if it's in bright light, it will temporarily be visible again.
Interesting.
It's not like the full effect of invisibility. It's the natural equivalent of. It did some big damage though. It's talking 48 plus 5 on its bite and claw attack, multi attack on that, 95 hit points. It's a big beastie. Not a complicated monster, but it's a nice big beastie that's always a bit of fun.
Nice.
The thing is, I made I made a place for it to potentially be used. It's a nice jungle. It's a nice jungle glade. So let's have a look. Terrain features to put in it. Yes, so it's a jungle, so it's really hot. So basically, if you're wearing heavy armor, every hour you got to pass a DC 15 con save or get a level of exhaustion.
Makes sense.
But it's just that hot and thick foliage. Basically, parts of the path, it's all like blocked off with this dense roots and burns and stuff. So you have to burn it away or destroy it by cutting through it. It only takes 5 points of acid fire or slashing, but it will do it. However, if you use fire damage to do it, you can accidentally, cause a very big fire, which is fun, but not very helpful. So basically, if you start a fire, it's obviously it creates smoke. So if you're within 10 feet of it, you have to pass a con save or take 1d6 damage and you get poisoned.
Oh.
Because you start inhaling smoke. And because you're in a jungle and you started a big fire, it spreads 5-foot radius every single turn.
Just big
So basically,
fire.
don't set the jungle on fire. You can do it. You probably shouldn't. The other thing I did just for a bit of a laugh is I put one of my favorite video game monsters ever in there. It's a Velociprey from Monster Hunter. It's just a cool looking blue raptor looking thing, and I just think they're really cool. Just really fit the mold of just weak low level monster that looks really cool, but will be killed nice and quick. So I kind of want to do these guys justice and have them be a random encounter for the thing. So they're in there as well. I think we've already uploaded that. So there's a big dinosaur, a not quite fake dinosaur, and a whole map to use for jungle encounters, so rainforest encounters. That's what we've got this week.
So I've got something that might potentially help prospective adventurers and natives take out those dinosaurs.
What? Didn't even plan that. Go on.
I didn't plan it. So this is called a pneumatic blowgun. So this is kind of a, I guess, fantasy punk firearm, trying to do firearms in a balanced way. So it is. It basically is a basically an semi-automatic. Well, as it's basically a blowgun that you don't have to blow into is the basic version, but it uses modified darts rather than just straight up darts as ammo. 1d4 piercing. It's a two-handed weapon. Has the range, loading, ammunition. Has range tag, loading tag, ammunition tag, and there's a clip size of 20 by default. So ranging between regular range 80, but has an ineffective range of about 300, which is quite far, but that still is a disadvantage. Actually, I might reduce that down to 250, actually. It has a weight of 5, and I've given it 20 hit points, because I know that people are like, oh, well, what if the weapon takes damage? Because if you have a weapon that is kind of scary looking, people might attack your weapon. Or your weapon, because it's a gun, might jam and get damaged, etc. So it has magazine fed. So magazine takes a full turn to refill. So if you actually have to refill the actual magazine, it takes a full turn. So your movement, your action, reaction, and bonus action have to be used to refill a magazine in combat. So the general advice is, if you have enough magazines on backup, make sure they're refilled when you're not in combat. Otherwise, you might be out of commission for a whole turn. But it comes with there's a whole bunch of upgrades you can buy for it. Because I kind of went down the Fallout method of this thing. So, we got semi-automatic barrel, increases damage output, but uses more ammo. Full auto barrel allows you to make 6 attacks on a single target, but with a cumulative -2 to hit penalty for each shot after the first. Again, kind of like having an automatic weapon. So it's like, yeah, you can definitely do more than just burst fire, but each subsequent shot's going to recoil you more. basically making it harder to hit. Sniper barrel increases your weapon range. Scattershot barrel turns it into a shotgun, basically. The Gatling barrel changes it from an attack roll to a dexterity save, and the range to a cone, so it's kind of more like a spraying, like a short spray weapon.
Right.
Launcher barrel changes it to a grenade launcher, but you have to get special quote-unquote magazines for it.
Right.
So it changes like a lobber kind of thing. RPG barrel also fires grenade mag rounds, but it's a full. But the idea is it's not an arc, it's just a high damaging single shot attack. And each of these costs more and more gold with each subsequent upgrade. So the RPG barrel, for example, costs 120, whereas the semi-auto only costs 10 gold. And the RPG barrel deals like 10 d4 piercing, but takes a full turn to reload, as in your full turn, because it's an RPG, but it deals a lot of damage, but it also uses a lot of ammo. And you can get different clips, so you get quick eject mag, which makes it take less time to reload. Expanded magazine to increase your clip size to 35 instead of 20. Drum magazine takes an additional action to reload, but has a clip size of 60. Belt mag, but it increases your clip size to 100, but reduces your movement speed by half while equipped. Grenade mag has a clip size of 3, but it's used specifically for the grenade type weapons. There's different grips, so you got recoil compensating stock, enchanted stock, which prevents creatures other than the tuned user from firing it. You can fix a bayonet to this. You'll be glad to know.
Okay.
Yeah. Sling for easily carrying the weapon. You know, like you got those kind of connecting slings you have on heavy weapons.
The rifle sling.
Yeah, rifle sling. Yeah. Improved pressure chamber increases the weapon range by 15 feet. Can't use the Gatling barrel, 40 gold, just increase your weapon range a little bit. You can get a scope, and you can get a focusing ring of enhanced damage type. Adds a +1 to damage, treated as a magic weapon. This damage and any secondary damage type may be changed to any other non-physical damage type, but it does cost 100 platinum, so 1,000 gold.
Okay, that's.
But if you wanted it to be a magic weapon that deals, magic damage of any type, and you happen to have the money to spare, you could go for that if you really wanted to, or you could potentially find it as a dungeon loot if your DM is nice enough. And then there's just the various ammo types. You've got modified darts, silver darts, poison dart deals extra poison damage, acid darts do extra acid damage, alchemist darts deal extra fire damage, enchanted darts counted as magical, hallucinogenic darts makes the target take a save against poison for so many rounds, and they have disadvantage saves with his illusion spells. Never an ice dart, which deals extra cold damage, but it has the downside of when you load it into the magazine, you have to take a DC 12 con save or take 1d4 cold damage, because the rounds in the magazine itself are super cold, so handling them is dangerous. You got volatile darts that explode and deal double damage, but can also blow your weapon up. You got sanctified darts, which have holy water effect. Fear and range toxin darts, which trigger that effect on a failed save. Darts of disintegration, which deal extra necrotic damage and will disintegrate targets if they kill them. And love potion dart, because that was quite funny. It does the charm effect. And then there's things like you can do bounce. Yeah. Then you can put bouncy gel on your grenade rounds to allow them to bounce. You can buy paint for your weapon, and you can get a reinforced frame for your weapon, increasing its health. Yeah. So I've done a lot. That's why I spent a while doing this rather than doing multiple homebrews. I just did one comprehensive homebrew with a lot of
That's fair.
Room for it to grow.
It sounds like you've just made the bogan from Monster Hunter, complete with healing rounds.
Wow.
Because for some reason, healing bullets are a thing in Monster Hunter.
Oh, I should do a healing potion rounds thing on this maybe. But yeah, so they're made of bamboo, carved wood, and natural gum and thick vine fibers. This weapon operates by sucking in, compressing, and suddenly releasing air, kind of like a blowpipe. often used by the more advanced tribes in tropical regions such as jungles and rainforests. So it's very much this kind of, it's an artisanal crafted thing using bits in the local environment and using the thick, humid air to the advantage of like, okay, we can use a very basic mechanical mechanism that doesn't require electricity to suck in air and suddenly force it out to fire these darts.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of like it. It's really fun that happened to work together.
Yeah.
Without even knowing we're
So now you got
working
some. For those of you that in the homebrew chat, you've now got 2 new monsters to use and something that you could give your players that might be fun to use against them.
Yes. Now I've had a thought. So I've got the wheel up now. Do you want to spin it now, and then we can get a bit of a nice
Yes,
surprise?
I won't be able to put it up on the stream, but yes, spin that wheel.
So currently we still have Cold Monster, Foreign Myth, Underrated Video Game, Dragon Slayer, and Criminal Activity, and Lovecraft.
Nice.
Give it a spin. Okay. So that's on Dragon Slayer.
Interesting. So that will be next week's Homebrew of the Week, everyone.
Concept.
Hmm.
So the general concept can be, cool. Do we have any follow-ups after this, or are we out for the?
I think we're running close to the limit around time, but we've got it's 56 minutes in. But I think we got through a lot today. Actually, we got through a lot concisely. So
we've had 2 weeks to catch up on, I suppose. So that's fair.
Closing thoughts wise, so now that I've got something sorted with the internet temporarily, I'll be trying to stream some more, and the podcast will be back in earnest, hopefully, unless something drastically goes wrong again, which we hope not. But yeah, it's been fun. I'm glad to be podcasting again. It feels good. It feels good. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah. One of the things. Do you have any last thoughts? Yeah. Is if you're going to remake a beloved work of fiction, don't change the ending to mean the opposite of what the original was about.
Yeah, that seems like a really... Why would they do
inviting
that
it.
themselves? I don't know.
I think that that's a wrap. I think. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you hopefully next week.
Yes, so we will see you same Byzantian time, same Byzantian channel. Join us again next week for more Byzantian Brewscast. And remember, paint your minis. We know you have them. Go and paint them. PSA. Bye for now, and